Hello, everyone. This is the Revolutionary Think Tank podcast. If this is your first time here, this is a podcast about political commentary, a sprinkling of philosophy, organizing psychology, and revolutionary thinking. My name is 4AS, and this is my co-host, MysterE. So, MysterE, how are you going today?
I am very well, 4AS. How are you, sir?
I am very well because we have two very special guests of the podcast today. We have KG and Himan. How are you both doing today?
Himan, if you want, you can go first.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for having us in this forum. We doing good, and I hope you guys are doing well as well. Yes, and I'm so glad to be in this part for the conversations we are going to talk in this forum. So yes, thank you so much for having us here.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, how about yourself, KG? You doing well today?
Yeah, thanks guys for having me as well. So it's been going good, and weather is getting hotter, isn't it? It's getting hotter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, does Nepal get humid like it does here in Sydney? Like, it didn't used to be like this, but like, how hot does it get in Nepal?
So the hotter it gets over here, the colder it goes in Nepal. So that's how opposite it is running right now.
Right, yeah, fair enough. Well, thank you for Himan for at least preempting the topic for today, because today we're going to be discussing the Gen Z protests, but specifically from the Nepalese perspective, because from what I hear, you guys at least were born over in Nepal, or at least you're expats of Nepal. So, look, this is an interview, so I might just hit us off with the first question.
Wait, before you do that, quick summation for people that are listening to this and wondering what's going on. Correct me, gentlemen, KG and Himan, just correct me, but I'm just going to give a quick summary. There was what has been dubbed Gen Z revolutions occurring across the world at the moment. And one of the most seminal, I think, and one of the most impactful, actually, has been one that has taken place in Nepal, but specifically in the capital, Kathmandu. And what was that, 3 weeks ago now, or 4 weeks ago? There was a situation where protests formulated around Gen Z protesters who were kind of arguing against corruption, the fact that they don't have any prospects, or there's low job opportunities, or there's high unemployment, and particular issues with government. They actually, in a couple of days' time, were able to depose the government. The Prime Minister stood down, and now we have an interim government situation for the next 6 months in Nepal. And basically Gen Z have overthrown a government that's the long and the short of it, basically. That's the situation.
Yep, you are not completely right, but you are somehow correct.
Okay, all right. So we will unpack this then. Okay,
yeah,
so that's just for the audience to be caught up then.
No, by all means. Thank you for that summary, MysterE. But I think a joint question that I actually wanted to ask you guys is, with that nice little summary that we got from MysterE, what is one major misconception about the protests that you guys would want to dispel? So with that summary, it being about corruption, and all of that, have you found in the media, one major misconception? Here's your platform. What would you want to dispel about all the media coverage that has happened? One major misconception about it.
So initially, I think the first round of the protest, when protest started happening for Nepal babies, there was a rumor saying Gen Z started protesting for social media ban, and most of the media also started writing those things on the platform.
Right.
And after that, I believe Gen Z started saying it's not actually social media ban, it's actually we are up against the corruption, which is leading towards all these sort of things. So that's that. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, Himanshu, but that was somehow manipulated. Those steps were somehow manipulated by the parties and their medias, saying it's a social media ban rather than it's a protest against corruption.
Yeah. So yeah, let me add some situation as well from to KZ. So initially, when the Gen Z started the protest was regarding the frustration with corruptions, and regarding the display of the wealth by government officials and their families. So yes, so it was the situation where the corruption was in the top. The youth was very unhappy, as the many of the youth has to go to outside the country to raise the standard of livings and to raise their families. And yeah, that sort of situations, because of that sort of situations happening since long in Nepal, the frustrations break down, and that's why the youth has to lead the protests, and the situations emerge in our country, Nepal.
Right. So wait, so would the social media ban, was that in any relation to it, or was it more the straw that broke the camel's back, or was it just purely about, what was it, hashtag Nepo babies, and like all of the social media stuff where you had was it wealthy politicians' sons and daughters that were flaunting their wealth when I guess your fellow compatriots in Gen Z are living in poverty. So, like, as in the social media ban stuff had nothing to do with it. So it was more about corruption.
Uh,
Mm, yeah, yeah, you go, Casey.
yeah, social media ban has something to do with it, because as we
Right.
already mentioned, people started doing nepo babies trend in social media platform, uh, mostly on TikTok, and I believe TikTok the number of users for TikTok is rapidly growing in Nepal and in Asia continent. And to bind that Nepo babies, and they saw the consequences, because Nepal will soon start their actual election after 1 or 2 years, which will badly impact the current government. They started, I believe, they conspired to ban social media platform by saying social media platform is not registered in Nepal and they are not paying taxes whatsoever. And yeah, so it social media platform banning social media creating a Nepo baby trend was just a humorous thing at the beginning, but when they started banning social media platform, it started creating ranges among the youngsters, because most of the youngsters they do content creation, and Nepal is a tourism country, and it has a huge uh, impact if they started banning social media platform.
It is my understanding that TikTok, as a Chinese social media platform, actually followed the government's rules and did register with the government like they were asked to do 6 months ago or something like that, or at the start of the year. And it was actually all the American social media platforms that didn't register like they were asked by the government. So is it true to say, from your experience, that it wasn't TikTok that was banned? Actually, TikTok did stay around. It was things like Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook that were actually being banned while the protests, I guess, started happening.
Yeah, and also I'll add on that point, MysterE, you are correct, and also they didn't provide a lot of information what they are banning,
Right.
and
Right.
because of people lack of trust on the current newspapers and current media, they also believe that they are banning TikTok. And I know there was a time 1 or 2 years before when they actually banned TikTok from Nepal
Oh,
as well before it get registered.
okay.
And currently when they actually banned, they were they didn't only say, they actually banned social media platform, and my parents, they were calling me from Viber. It was actually banned, and then the rain started, and TikTok was the medium at that time which created a huge a huge collection from Gen Z masses. Yeah, you were right. TikTok wasn't banned at that time, but it was lack of information that played the role.
And the Nepo baby trend, where did you first see that? What social media platform was that going off on? Was that Instagram? Was that TikTok? Because the posts that we saw looked to be Instagram posts. That's what we saw in the West.
So it was a guy who made a huge Christmas tree from the Gucci Armani bags.
Exactly. I did saw that videos too.
Oh, it was videos. So like TikTok.
Videos.
It was a kind of like a photo, but the photo was in the TikTok, and selling that the Nepo babies, and they are like living their life, and we are the here who are like have to face all those unhappy situations that's happening in our country, like that sort of things that was like running into the TikTok during that time.
Okay. And so what was the original one that you saw? Was some guy with a Gucci bag Christmas tree, like a Christmas tree made of Gucci bags?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
You will also find his interview, because many interviewer has done his interview currently.
Yeah.
And he has defended himself, saying that his father has done business from past several years.
Yep.
And their family is ready to do a corruption test from government, an investigation from government. And many genuine media, they made fun out of it, and you also will find that, and he's not from capital, he's out of the capital. And most of the Nepo babies are in capital, so I think that's quite fascinating how the person outside the capital got such a negative fame from social media platform. And so the funny factor is, he said, "I am quite happy that I started the revolution." Yeah, so that was his quote when he was questioned.
And so this person, because the claims that we've heard in the West is that all of these Nepo kids are the children of government officials and important government officials. And the story that we've been hearing in the West is that there is no way that the government salaries of their parents could cover them to go to university overseas and holidays overseas and buy luxury cars and luxury handbags and all this sort of stuff. And so the implication is they're obviously stealing money from the people, because their salary wouldn't cover all of this lifestyle, basically. Is that the kind of story that was being spread about these Nepo kids?
I think MysterE, you are right in this one, because the government officials who are like working for the governments, if you look into the salary or the income they are earning, is kind of like very, 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 very low compared to their families who are like enjoying their life to the fullest, or like enjoying their wealthiest life. So that is the one of the main reason the Nepo babies came into the social media. So I think that's the one of the main reason the protest is the one of the main reasons the protest happens in Nepal.
And so how do you think, like maybe you guys have heard rumors from friends of yours or contacts, how do you think these kids, these Nepo kids and their families, how did they get all of this money then?
Casey, you go first.
Himan, I remember you telling me a story when protest was happening. If you want to share that, it will be quite interesting, because I know Himan and me. So when protest was happening, Himan and me, we both were on the same place. We were frustrated as well as scared as well as excited what gonna happen to Nepal. And he got a call from somewhere which he will, I think he will mention. You go ahead.
Oh, all right, let me just drive from there.
Man, if you've got a story for us, please do tell. Give us the goss, mate.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. So I got a call when there was a protest going on from one
Mhm.
of my friends,
Okay.
and my friends, the relatives was the minister, a home minister. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, when the situation was like, was going through all those situations was like going through in Nepal, my friends called me and he just sent me one information, telling me that the all during that time when all of the minister was and all of the politician was like, underground. So uh, the home minister was underground as well, and the personal assistant of home minister has to go to underground as well, because there was so dangerous situations was happening. All the protesters were like, burning down the houses and dragging all the politicians in the road and beating all the politicians if they found if they just found in the road. So that's what the situation was very, very dangerous.
Hmm.
And what happens was like, the home minister personal assistants mother has to go from the house, and so personal assistants just gave the bundle of money. I don't know I don't know where did they get the money from. A big bundle of money, just handed over to a mother and just told that mother, just go away, just go somewhere else and just hide it and take this money. It was like, oh my gosh, a million of money.
No.
Exactly. I
Really?
Wait,
was like, oh my gosh,
wait,
is this really happening?
So
wait.
where do
So,
they?
sorry. I'm sorry. So, did you just and did you just admit that you heard from the home your mate who knows the home minister? The home minister gave a whole pile of money, millions of
It's not the home,
dollars.
no, it's not the home minister, the
Right.
personal assistant, PA of home
Oh,
minister.
right.
Yep.
Right. So the
I,
PA handed a bunch of money to a random mother, and it's like,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
skedaddle.
Yeah, and I was like thinking, if the PA if the PA can give a lot of money to her mothers, telling that just go and run away out
yeah.
of nowhere, just
Right.
think how much the home minister money are they holding the money in the house?
Yes. And where do they get this money from? Where do you think
Exactly.
this? Okay, so this is the mystery. Where does all this money come from? And that's why people are upset, because these people are living these
True.
lifestyles that are like luxurious, and the regular and average Nepalese people want to know, where are they getting all of this money from? Where's this coming from? That's that. Okay, that explains a
I,
lot more of the situation now.
I want to add something. I want to comment something from the question that you have raised, Mr. E.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happened when they were burning down the houses of corrupted politician?
Mhm.
Our ex prime minister house was also burned,
Mm.
and people started vlogging on that house. And when they went on the house when it was burned, they found there were huge amount of gases turned into ashes.
Huh. They
Uh,
were burning the cash.
no,
In,
they found the ashes of
they
gas,
found the
of
ashes.
gas of
Okay.
gas,
Yeah.
and they found a tunnel where actually he was hiding all the money inside the house.
No.
You'll find that on YouTube as well. And when he's currently walking freely on the capital. That's
He,
how safe he is right now. And he said that everything was made from AI.
That's
Wait. So you're saying the ex prime minister, the one that was deposed,
Yeah,
his house was burnt down, and you could see all the ashes of the burnt money everywhere. And
yeah,
he's basically just turned. Wait. So he's actually walked three, and he's claiming that it's fake news and that those videos were made from AI.
yeah. Those, and you can find a lot of vloggers making a vlog of those amount of money on their channels, but he's still claiming that that's made from AI and he doesn't hold those money.
Okay, then I have to ask. Then, okay, from your this might be a bit of a speculative question, but at least from your perspective, boys, KG and Human, Human, uh, how far do you think the corruption is in the government? Whether that's I guess the ex-government, maybe even the interim government. Like how far do you think the corruption's gone? Because isn't Shakila Kaki supposed to be in power now with the interim government? Like, how far do you think the corruption is?
Um, so I'll tell you the current scenario. Now, Sushila Karki told current Home Minister to start investigating those political parties.
Right.
And because current interim government is for 6 months, they told IGP to catch our ex-prime minister and current prime minister, like both ex-prime minister of the huge parties, and the head of the CIB and IGP. They said they will resign rather than keeping those ex-prime minister and ex-prime ministers on jail. He said he will better resign because he's the IGP and the police are also afraid that because after 6 months they will again come on, they will again start.
They will again come and rule the government, because after 6 months there will be the elections one more time, and who knows if they come back and then if they come and they win the elections, then they will be the one who will be ruling the country again. So no one wants to take the risk.
So, you mean no one wants to take the risk of keeping them in prison?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just in case they come back and then they take vengeance on them. So
Exactly.
is that why they're walking the streets now at the moment? The ex-prime minister is walking free in the streets. Wow.
Yeah.
And how does the Gen Z, how do you guys feel about this ex-prime minister walking free?
So it was never a Gen Z protest, first of all, break the rule. It was never a Gen Z protest.
Yeah.
Gen Z was the tagline given to the protest, but when the protest happened, it started with Gen Z, but it ended with a lot of outsiders involved. And because most of the Gen Zs were killed in the protest, our blood is still boiling, seeing them walking freely. And few politicians, they are claiming Gen Zs as a terrorist, and they are telling on the media that rather than government taking ex-prime minister and prime minister to prison, they have to take Gen Zs to prison.
Wait, so you're saying that? Okay, so the prime minister, the ex-prime minister, just resigned, and nobody wants to put him in jail just in case there's vengeance when there's a possibility that he comes back into government. You have the interim government that, instead of holding the ex-prime minister to account, they've now classified the Gen Z protesters as terrorists. Is that correct?
They haven't classified the Gen Z protesters as terrorists, but the ex-prime minister, the political parties, they are making a claim that the person they need to catch the Gen Zs who started the protest, and also they haven't. Because most of the Gen Zs died when he was before he gave resignation, but he and other political parties, they haven't said sorry yet. They are still holding the grudge against Gen Z.
Yeah, that's what I think is very sad, because we have a loss of life of Gen Zs during that protest, and everyone's are going through a lot of condolence. But having said that, the political parties, they have been ruling all over they have been ruling our country since long, and during this sort of situations, they even have not been able to talk regarding the changes, families who lost their life in the protest, and that is very sad, and in the same time that makes me anxious as well.
And can I ask, do you know, because there's official stories that get to us in the West, but how many people from the protesters, do you know how many people died as a result of the protests?
So I can't give you the appropriate number, but initially when protest happened, we heard that 30 of the youngsters, they went into the Parliament House, and after they went there, they are vanished. So they haven't found the body yet, which is still a conspiracy. We can't find any information, but excluding that, 40s are already dead, and the count number are increasing.
Yeah,
Because most of them are still
Yeah,
in
but
ICU.
Casey, I heard that almost 72 people were killed during this protest,
okay.
Right.
and one of them was 12-year-old guy.
Yeah, so 72, Himanshu, 72 including the 30 that went into the
Yes,
Parliament House.
yes,
Okay.
you're right. Yeah,
Okay, because
That's how
we heard about there was 30 people, protesters, that had died as a result of the situation. We didn't hear anything about these people disappearing in Parliament House, and we heard that there was like I think 10 or 20 police officers that were killed
yeah.
as a result of the protests as well. But I haven't heard anything about this Parliament situation, like people that went in. Is this when when like Parliament was burnt? Are you talking about
No,
the
it was
same
a
time?
day before. It was
The
a
day
day.
before.
Yeah.
Oh, so what happened on the day before Parliament House went down?
So so what happened on the day before? That's a good question. Because living on overseas,
Yeah,
seeing the story of people, I saw police going inside house of the civilians and killing the civilians.
Mm.
So it happened on my village area. So I don't belong to the capital city. I belong to far western side of Nepal.
Okay.
And I saw a few stories where police going inside and killing the civilians and hitting girls and doing bad sort of things. And those things are also getting trending on social media, and due to which on next day, rather than calming the civilians range and their parents range also, because their children were killed and sorted on the protest, so their parents also started protesting, and the mass grew where more outsiders were involved.
And from what we understood from it as well, and please correct me because you never know when you get stuff from the media, but from our understanding, it was the police and the protesters that were fighting, but the army was separate. The army actually ended up coming in and calming things down, or trying to work with the protesters at the end, or was the army working with the police? Like, how did that work?
So Himanshu, can you go ahead? I'll just
Yeah. So yeah, with the army, so what happened was like during the situations going through all in Nepal, the protesters started burning down all the politicians' house. Not only the houses, they started burning down all the public property as well. So that situation, because of that situations, every politicians who was like holding the position has to resign from their duty. So yeah, after that, still the protester was not stopping, and like they were like going crazy and like burning all the public property and all the politicians houses, even the businessman houses too. So yeah, so because of that situations, army has to come in the middle, and they have to rule to control the situations under control. So yeah, so during that situations, army and police were like were like separately working out,
Okay.
and at last moment, army has to come and has to control all those situations.
Okay. Okay. But
yeah.
like, how do people feel about the army compared to the police? Is it the same feeling or different feelings towards the army compared to the police?
So I do respect armies because they are the one that saved our country from intruders at the end, because everything was most of the thing was happened unexpectedly.
Yeah.
But our question is, because army is for the safety of our country, then why did they let the data center burned out? Because data center play a huge role on the border security, because there are a lot of border related data holding on the center. So they were watching everything silently. But why are they watching everything silently? That's a huge question still in my mind and most of the Gen Z's mind. And why? And yeah, it's good to airlift the politicians at the time of the protest, but how come they knew that people will start going to those politician houses at the same time? So I think there are some insider news happening, and army know everything that's gonna happen, as well, and they let it happen, and then at the end they let country to be stable and give it to the current government. So there are a lot of conspiracies happening in between these sort of things. And when they selected our current interim government, everything happened inside the army camp, and nothing was filmed. So we actually don't know.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Because my huge question going into this interview was, the whole Discord democracy thing. Like, how Shakila Kaki got, I guess, elected via Discord. Like, I guess from these protests that you're saying, what was the timeline there from, I guess, burning down the politicians' houses to Shakila Kaki coming to power in the interim government via Discord? Can you guys speak a bit about that?
Himansu, correct me if I'm wrong, was it in between 24 to 38 hours?
Yeah, you're right.
So my question, because I was inside that Discord as well, and I didn't do voting, but because link was available to our social media, everybody was sharing, so I just went inside to check. But my question is, how come we make sure that everybody is Gen Z? Because anybody can enter inside the Discord and start voting.
Yeah, it's a good question.
And another question
it wasn't vetted, in other words. It was just, here's the link, vote if you want.
Yeah, vote if you want. That's the thing. That's why I got the link and I went inside. And I sent the link to my father as well, and he went inside as well. So he's not a Gen Z. What if he voted? That's the question. And another question is, who said that Discord is a good place to vote? Who gave that authority, and who is the person who raised those sort of knowledge to Gen Zs? Because there are a lot of platforms. You can create a Viber poll as well.
Okay, that is a good question actually. Where do you think that this Discord vote was set up by an individual, so just one person, or is there an organization that has been operating and helping with this whole process? Do you know of any organizations like NGOs or anything like that might have been working with protesters? Or
yeah, I do. So yeah,
okay.
So that's a Himansu. If I want to add, it's a Hami Nepali. It's a Nepali NGO, and the Sudan Gurung is the one who is he's the only Gen Z that is involved with Sushila Karki in a good terms. And in media, you can see one guy who is bowing his head in the Sushila Karki. So that guy is the leader of Hami Nepali group. So it's an NGO, it's a non-profit organization, and the group people voted was created that non-profit organization.
Sorry to cross you, KZ, but when I was looking at the interview regarding, the Sudan Guru and the other family, other member of the Hami Nepali, so what they were saying was like, we haven't sponsored or like we have not sponsor in the monetary terms for this protest. So that's what they were telling, and they were like, just helping out the protesters by giving the water or like other sort of services while they are like protesting in the road.
Okay, so one of these groups that we looked at, an NGO that was associated potentially with the protesters, was a group that was set up by a young man, maybe the one that you guys are speaking about now, who actually set up the NGO as a result of the floods that had happened recently. Is this the same person?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if that's so Sudan Gurung, I think that's a Sudan Gurung.
I think that was the name. Yes.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This person may have been helping out the protesters, not monetary, but like helping with supplies and stuff like that, water.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Okay.
right. I
Okay.
think he's doing the giving out the service instead of funding the protest.
Okay. And like helping them organize though, like like setting up things on Discord, and like who's in charge of this Discord server? Does anyone know?
No, my question is why Discord? Because
Yeah.
I know, so personally, I know Sudan Grung from 2020 when COVID started, and
Okay.
few of my brother, they also volunteered on the same NGO for COVID-19. I did share a few of their posts on my social media platform as well, back in 2019, 2020 when COVID started. My question is why an NGO on that structure is operating Discord, because Discord is not mostly for the non-profit organization purpose, because they do have few social media platforms they can do through Zooms, Teams, or anything like that. Why Discord? That's a huge question around Gen Zs, and how come Sudan Gurung is leading current Gen Z? Because he wasn't in the beginning. He wasn't in the protest. Actually, he was just distributing bottles for the people who were actually doing the protest. So that's the huge question.
And is this person now, are they a leader in the movement? Would you say are they negotiating or speaking to the interim government on behalf of people? Are they important now?
Yeah, so they are important now. Actually, they are important now.
I think they are playing a major role, like giving a lot of informations and passing what sort of strategy or policy that has to be made in future, so that the the people living in our countries get a lot of services or facilities compared to the ruling government that has been ruled before the protest.
Okay. Interesting. And so what I'm hearing is this person started off just helping out, giving out water, supporting the protests. Now they're almost kind of leading some sections of the Gen Z protesters that are still around, and they're communicating with the interim government. Do you guys like anyone that you speak to maybe at home, people trust this person though, I'm assuming? Or they don't have there's no worries about this person or anything like that, is there?
So it's not the person that people are worrying right now. It's the NGO that he is affiliated with.
Okay.
Yeah, because so to look at the bigger picture, if he is distributing water to the protester, then how come he's getting money to buy that water from? So where the money is coming to distribute the water. So if we want to go back to the history, so when our king Birendra was massacred, his father used to rule, and he died around 60 or 62 years old, and he had his brother who had so that's a huge chain. So our King Mahendra, his brother was in love of Barbara. So Barbara is a lady that's not from our country. That's from the Western state. And our king, he expelled both Barbara and his brother to the foreign country. And the foundation that the NGO that Sudan Gurung is running right now, they get money from the Barbara Foundation. So
and the Barbara Foundation is associated with the United States, right?
Yeah, that's true. So it's associated with the United States. And my brother, he used to work in US aid before as a civil engineer.
US aid, as in USAID?
Yeah, US aid as a civil engineer in Nepal. And his funding got stopped. So those developmental funding got stopped by Donald Trump. But how come Barbara Foundation is still running those money? Right. So that's a huge question running on everyone's mind right now. As in a bigger picture, if you look in a bigger picture, and Sudan Gurung is leading that organization, so maybe there is some involvement of United States.
And so just to connect a little bit further back, the Barbara Foundation is also somehow linked to Tibetan nationalists that have somehow sought refuge in Nepal. Is that correct? Or in India?
So I can't actually relate it as a directly proportional, but I can relate it as a inversely proportional. So how? Because so to to explain this claim. If you want to add something, Himansu, feel free to add it. But when Tibet was acquired by China,
Yes.
in the beginning, Tibetan revolutionary, they started fighting from Nepal.
Yep.
And our ex-prime minister, who recently got resigned, he went to the Chinese huge parade, which was considered huge because in that parade there were so many missiles that we haven't heard of yet. Hydrogen bomb, defense minister talk about it. We haven't heard of yet has been mentioned. And when he came back from China, protest happened, and there were few people who is wearing TOB jacket which says Tibetan Revolutionary Army jacket. They were holding guns on the protest. Our question with, and one of my follower, or one of my friend, he is also running a media channel, like a good media channel. He also tells about it. If we start talking about the Tibetan Revolutionary Army, we will start getting threatened call or messages in our chats. So that is also one of the question. And I believe if they want to start protest against China, they have to start it from Tibet, because there is a huge state which is happy to back, which is happy to take their land back. And currently India is refusing the Tibetan Dalai Lama as well in their country.
Yeah.
So in order to pass through China, they have to go through Nepal, land of Nepal. So I think there is some involvement of Tibetan revolutionary to create an unstable political environment so that they can jump in and start taking their land back.
Right. So it is possible that some of the destabilization that has happened in Nepal could have been something to do with some Tibetan revolutionaries trying to get kind of closer to China, right? Or trying to, get at China somehow. Is that right? Potentially.
Yeah, and India, because India is hosting Tibetan refugee, we can't say India isn't backing them up.
Yeah.
India is backing them up, and I believe the funding is coming from United States or somewhere around the globe.
Wow. And so it really does beg the question. I think you are asking a really important question. Why are people using then Discord, which is, I'm pretty sure it's an American company. Why or the people that own Discord anyway, why are they using Discord to vote for an interim government and all that sort of stuff? These are all relevant questions, and so many answers that it's hard to really nail all of this down. The Discord vote though wasn't the only factor in picking the interim government, was it? I thought, wasn't there people in the army that helped or make a decision, that were involved in the decision-making process, and some people in the former government that were decided upon the interim government, or was it just the Discord?
It was just the Discord, only
just the Discord.
Nothing.
Oh,
wow!
Right.
Yeah. But just adding to this information, while talking about the Discord and votings in the Discord, I was going through the news of my country, and I found the information that the Susila Karki was not the first one. Genji wanted to push for the prime minister. The first one was the mayor of the Kathmandu, and that was the Balinsa, I guess.
And he's the rapper,
so
right? Is he the rapper?
Yeah, he's the rapper.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Okay.
he's the rapper.
And what do you guys think of him?
For me, I think being a mayor and getting a duties, I think he's the perfect. He's been doing a lot of things in Kathmandu compared to the mayor who was not able to do anything except giving a lot of speech. But this guy is instead of giving a speech, he's a practical guy, and yes, he prefers to walk and show the public that so the public would work rather than talking.
So to break you over here, Himansu, I did used to be a big fan of Valin Desai, and I still hear his song. But I remember when I first saw his rap battle, there was a line which he told, have you ever heard, so I'll just translate that line in English. So
Yeah.
have you ever heard about history? You haven't, because Balin hasn't arrived here yet. That's what he told around 10 or 12 years before, when I was still child. So currently he is making that history. That's the thing. So how
Yeah,
did he
exactly.
manifestate those things 12 years before?
Interesting question.
Well,
Does he was planning to be a prime minister from that time? So that's the question that's raging on my mind right now.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
But like,
I was yeah.
but what about the period of history when the mayor was the front runner, and then it shifted to Shilikaki? Like, what happened in that time period? Like, why did it shift to Shilikaki?
So it didn't shift it to Susila Karki. Balin said he's not interested to be a prime minister right now, because
Right.
current prime minister tenure is for 6 months, and he said if he became a prime minister right now, what will happen later on? So that was his claim, because he want to, and it's better if he run the country for a longer time. But currently, if we start thinking about Nepalese politics and the things happening right now I started doubting about his manifestation as well, because at the time of protest he started writing status 3 or 4 times in a day. After protest ended, he haven't even met one of the single victims.
Oh, really?
So
As in he hadn't reached out to any of the victims.
no, and also he hasn't kept any status till this. I think this week he kept one, defending himself that he did send a fire brigade to the places, the data centers and everywhere else, to defend himself. After everything happened, he did reply a week before, but he didn't went and see any of the victim, and we can't hear even a single status in his social media platform. So my question is so if he is at the protest, if he is telling youngsters to go and start burning everything down, why isn't he going and seeing those victims right now? So that's the question. And also regarding manifestation, also 5 months before, he said he was blessed with 2 children, but in between the delivery he lost his one of the daughter. And at that time, for frustration, he said he will burn down the data center out of nowhere, which did happen. So there was 2 manifestations that came true.
So can you explain just for us why are these? Because I haven't heard anything about this in the media. What's the situation with the data centers? Why is this so important? I haven't heard anything about what has happened to the data centers.
So why data center is important? Because Nepal is a landlocked country, and in one side of Nepal there is whole China belt, and in another side there is whole Indian belt, and everything is divided through mountain range or rivers.
Yep. Okay.
So so data center is important because we can accumulate how much land is ours or how much land is not ours, how much land is in India's. And if data center is burned down, then we don't have any proof. So India can claim whole Nepal by itself, because we don't have any valid reason to claim our territory. That's how data center is important. And
so it's important for your sovereignty. So if you don't have that,
it's important to save our land, because that's the only valid proof we have currently, and which is stored on the data center, which got burned in the current.
Wait, so all the data is gone, or were you able to?
We actually don't know, to be honest, because because everything is not being shown on the media.
Right.
And no one is changing those things right now, so we actually don't know. The only person that knows about those sort of things are the current interim government, and we haven't heard any statement from them what's happening right now with the data center.
Okay, you might be moving more into the next question I was going to ask. Was what are your thoughts on Shashila Kaki and the interim government? Like, I don't want to preempt you guys, but it sounds like they're possibly keeping things from you, or things are not clear. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
So Himanshu, you go first, and then I'll add my point.
Yeah, go for it.
In my point of view, what I think is like the current interim government is trying to be transparency.
Okay.
You know what's going inside. They are trying to show all the things what's going inside. But having said that, they have even though they are trying to do that, they have been failing again and again and again. But I what I think is like they are trying to get and work what the public or the people of Nepal want. Yes, that's what I think.
So I think we both are playing a different. We both have different concept about the current interim government, Himanshu and me. So it depends. If you ask another Genjis, the political party, they do have their own perception. So from my understanding, currently there is a mayor on the eastern border of Nepal, which is considered as a good mayor. His name is Harka Sampang, and he did went to Sushila Karki asking he want a position for a government, and they said him to go to embassy. So I will not refer a particular embassy, but they did send him to go to visit those embassy and come back with their approval. And he came on the media and he said that he wanted to take one of the home ministry or some government position, but the current interim government told him to go and get a permission from the embassy, from other countries' embassy.
I wonder who it was. Yes,
Yeah.
I wonder who it was.
Well, sorry, MysterE, what do you reckon? It was probably a legate from
maybe.
that happened to be in Nepal from a specific country with the initials of U.S.A.
I can only speculate.
Actually, I can only speculate.
Sorry, keep going, KG. Sorry.
No, keep going, guys.
Yeah, I'm not making this claim hypothetically, because we do have, like, he came on the media and he did say it by himself.
Yeah.
So, and he's considered as a good mayor, so that can be a genuine reason.
But the embassy didn't give him permission. Is that what you're saying? He didn't get permission to
No,
be in
he
the
didn't
government?
went to embassy. Why should he went to other countries' embassy to be a governmental official for his own country? That's the reason. So he didn't go anywhere else. Rather than going anywhere else, he said it's better to be the mayor of the eastern side of Nepal rather than taking a government position. And then he came on the media and told everyone that this sort of things are happening right now in Nepal.
I might have been being facetious before, but did he actually confirm what foreign embassy he went to?
Yeah, he did. You can go and check. Because I'm referring those countries frequently, so I don't want to be blamed by saying, oh, he's only focusing on those two countries.
Okay, no, fair enough.
But there are enough evidence which will tell you that which embassy he was asked to visit to. And correct me if I'm wrong, Himanshi, you did hear that statement as well. Then why are you telling interim government is transparent? I don't see interim government being transparent.
No.
Oh, we found a sticking point between KG and Himan.
No. what I was going to trying to tell you is like, compared to the one who was ruling the country previous, like, before the protest, and the now with the compared to the interim government, they are doing a far much more better. That's what I was
Mm.
trying to say.
Hmm.
But having said that, there comes a lot of cons thing as well. When there is the government trying to bring out this strategy or policy inside the country, and they are like, a newly established government, then it might take some time. So change does not happen in a day. So it takes some time. That's what I think. So, and it's only a 6 months government, so it's just like wait and watch situations. So I know there's a lot of things we can do in within the 6 months, but there's a lot of things it takes a year and years to improve on. So that's what I was
Hmm.
trying to say.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like, okay, with this interim government, like, obviously, there seems to be differing opinions on the situation and how they're tracking. But, like, are the protests done and dusted? Is there rumors that there might be further demonstrations, or are, like, some people satisfied with how things are going, or are other people just dissatisfied? And that's it. Like, what's the current state of play, if you will?
I can't see any good things happening on near future. I can only see bad things, more and more bad things happening, because there are more and more political parties being formed. And as we can see, Gen Zs are divided, and most of the Gen Zs currently are on the foreign land.
Right.
Um, and also, so the current Gen Zs, the current leaders of Gen Zs, they told Susila Karki that they want people who are in the foreign land to vote as well, give the opportunity to vote as well. And I don't, in my perception, I don't believe that's gonna happen sooner or later, which will create this election go more longer. And the more longer it gets, the more stronger protest will happen, and more stronger the country will be divided. So I believe there will be a lot number of protest happening
Oh,
sooner.
right. So you think that the protests will happen again?
Yeah, it will for sure.
Right. So wait. So when you were saying that the elections might be pushed back, as in the Nepalese government won't feel comfortable holding another election, like they might push back the election, and then Shakila Kaki might have to hold it for a lot longer, or, like, sorry, I'm not really understanding how you structured that. Or people won't be satisfied with the election that happens, and what, it might be a sham. Sorry, you might have to elaborate what you were saying.
So how the election will extended?
Yeah.
So that's a future reasoning that I'm giving right now. But I'm not making a false claim, because political parties, the previous political parties, what they are saying right now is our constitution. Uh, so can you tell that Tom Himansu, where they want the constitution back, they want all the political parties to be back and reform the government again, rather than
No.
going through an election. So that's what
Yes.
these political
Yeah.
parties are claiming, and they are saying that they are not happy to be on the elections.
So recently
Yeah.
what happens was, like, the previous political parties had filed the case, and has requested to reform the constitution again. So it has already been processed. But if in case there is a win situations for the previous if in case there is the win situations for the reconstitutions,
Right.
then there might be a chances of no there might be a chances of getting all those politicians back again, former politicians back again, and they will be again ruling the country.
So that will be our ex-prime minister will be our new prime minister if that they win the case.
Yeah, exactly.
So there,
Oh,
so
so
So things
okay.
might turn around.
Go for it. Go for
So,
it, Mr.
so they're asking, their case is no election, just put us back in power. That's their case.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
who's considering the case? Kaki?
So they filed a case on Supreme Court, and
Is the Supreme
they're
Court
having-
still there at the moment? The Supreme Court is
yeah,
still
it's
working?
there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's still on functions, and many cases are running right now. And this is also one of the many cases. And also, yeah, if that happens, then that's a fear on Gen Zs, that if the government come back again, the same thing will happen.
Yeah. Okay. And so, can I ask then? Do you think? I know it's early days, and considering all the threats that you've just talked about, like the government's trying to basically go through the courts to come back, do you think that it's been worth it, this entire situation? Do you think this has been a good thing?
So the amount of Gen Zs, the amount of our friends that have been killed in the protest, it has never been a good side for us. And I had a talk with my brother at that time, and my brother was pretty depressed seeing the situation of our country. So if the government comes back, I think those sacrifices will go on vain, and we don't want to see that again.
Yeah.
Rather than going back, we want a good election to be happen where it's okay. Everybody's happy to accept the political parties, but there should be a good political leader, and there should be a range. And because our one prime minister has become prime minister 5 times, 6 times in his career, and nothing has been changed. So the demand for Gen Zs are good. Yes. And we don't want election. We want election to happen rather than political parties coming back again.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's. So is my understanding that there's a challenge, but there's a challenge to the constitution by the ex-prime minister, and that if that goes through, then the election won't happen, and they'll just take power again. Is that correct?
Yep.
Right. Well, is there a reason for Gen Z just turning around and saying, well, why don't we create our own constitution and form our own government? Like, is there stopping your fellow compatriots from making their own constitution that works for you guys?
So I won't say. I'll tell you my story from that perspective. I did call my father at the same time, and I asked him. He supported the ex-government, and I asked him, what if your son was shot dead at that time? Will you again start voting for the same parties? And he didn't say no, to be honest. He didn't say no. He said there are good people on that parties, and we will support that parties again. But we will support good people inside those parties. So that means our country, citizen in our country, most of the Gen Zs are in foreign country, but the elders who are there, they are brainwashed by political parties. So we can't change the perception, and I don't think Gen Z have enough power to rule the countries and start the protest again.
Right.
So yeah, and they have been brainwashed, because most of the family member, if I give them call again and ask them whom do you vote, they will go for the same party rather than saying, oh, we need to support our youngsters. They say we will support the party, and if there is youngsters on that party, we will support that youngsters. That's the shit. That's the thing.
Right. So because obviously I'm aware that I'm aware of, like, for example, in both Indonesia and yourself, there was the imagery of the One Piece and like all the One Piece flags, with the Straw Hat Pirates, and all of that. Like, you can probably explain to us the context around all of that stuff. But as far as you're concerned, before we move on to that, what that what the protests were for naught, and everyone's been captured again by the interim government? Like, you don't see a lot of hope in the current interim government? Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. It's just, it sounds pretty depressing from what you said.
Yeah, Himanshu, if you can go ahead.
Well, to be honest, I don't have a hope with the interim government because it's only for 6 months. As far because there is the elections coming after 6 months, right? I just wanted
Yeah.
to see what's gonna happen after the elections and who's gonna come and rule the country after the elections. And there comes the hope for me.
Yeah, it depends upon how well the election will happen.
Exactly. So I think
Right.
everyone who is like uh, living in the country and living outside the country, most of the Nepali are like in the situations in wait and watch. So let's see what happens after 6 months. What how's the elections will be going, and then I think there will comes the hope for everyone for Nepalese.
Okay, well, maybe this might lead to at least the final question that I have is, well, what do you see for Nepal in 10 years' time? Like, what role do you see Gen Z and your generation playing in shaping the future of Nepal? Like, what sort of hope do you have for the future?
Um, so if so, there are both positive and negative sides of the future that I'm seeing right now. If
Yeah.
we see on the positive side, we can see corruption-less government led by Gen Z. Because in 10 years, I believe there will be some Gen Z on those political parties who has good agenda and good sort of thoughts. Or else I can see it as a battleground which is used by US or other countries to mock up China or India if they go through any other any other any other acquiring kind of thing
Yeah.
between the UN nations or something like that. So there are a lot of things happening, and if I want to add where does One Piece flag stands in between, I think that flag stands between the world government, where the Gen Zs are saying world government to step out of our country. So I believe the One Piece flag stands because in the anime also it stands for the world government, and it's protesting pirates are protesting against the world government.
Yes,
And
I might tag that question onto this. What can you explain to us One Piece and the importance of the flag to the Nepalese protest? Because that's a huge question I've had and I've not quite understood. Can you explain that to us?
so I also fall under. So I think One Piece also falls under Gen Z, Generation G, because it's growing with us currently as well as growing with us, and it's
Yeah.
been around 25, 30 years, and myself it's been around 12 years. I'm watching One Piece every single week, coming up new episode. And
Right.
what is telling is so in One Piece the pirate group, so there are like very sorts of pirates group, and some are good pirate and some are bad pirate. In the end, those pirate group has protesting, like has conspiring or has taking the land, but they have to fight with the government officials as well. But currently where it's heading is fighting against the world government, fighting against the bad
Right.
pirates, bad peoples.
Right.
And I believe the agenda stands like that in the protest as well, where people are raising their flag to fight against the world government. And
Right.
in the scenario of Nepal, I didn't think they have thought on that bigger picture, but from my perception, where it looks like we don't want world government to intervene on any sort of our protest and intervene any sort of our political reforms. So that flag played a huge role at the scenario.
Mm.
And yep, and being a One Piece fan, that gave me a goosebumps at the time when people raised the flags. But
Right.
yep, it's showing a good symbol, to be honest. It's showing a good symbol. People are raising the flag with saying world government to stay out of our country.
Right. So the whole point of the show is that there's a world government, and at least the good guys that you follow, they are fighting for the freedom of their fellow countrymen, if you will, against the world government. And so similarly, the Nepalese people, or at least the Gen Z protesters, they saw it as they saw that symbol as a way for them to fight against the world government.
And it's that they are fighting against the bad pirate, which is current political leaders. And while fighting the pirate, they are also showing the flag, telling world government to stay out of it. So that's how they do it.
Okay. I see the symbolism. Thank you.
It's pretty good, actually. Yeah. I like that. Okay, there's two enemies. There's the local pirates and the world government. I like that. That's world good.
That's what
interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, we put the same question to you, Himan. What hope do you have for the future? Where do you see Nepal going in the next 10 years or so? What's your answer to that question?
Well, within these 10 years, if the previous politicians does not comes back and rule the country, I see Nepal's doing a pretty much good in terms of raising the economy. And I also see a youth believing and getting opportunity to do something in Nepal rather than going outside and getting the opportunity. So and the most of the youth going back to country and participating and in a new startup, a new venture. Yes, I see a pretty much positive things within these 10 years if the election goes well and the good educated or knowledgeable people comes and rules the country. That's what I think.
Okay.
So rather than I'll tell some good sides about the protest that happened. So please, our country people are always generous, and they see so they have so while protests were happening, there were a lot of tourists who were stranded on the country, and in between protests they stopped whole protest just to let tourist bus and tourist people walk through here and there. So
I guess one of the guy became popular because of that.
He got
We've watched his footage. I think it's We Hate the Cold. That guy. Have you seen him? His footage. I think he's British, and he was there at the time, and he filmed the whole thing, and he's got millions of views on that video. And I've watched it 3 or 4 times, I reckon. It's crazy. It's incredible, the footage.
They do because we are a country with a lot of tourist prospection, because we have beautiful mountains. And from my side also, when I was kid, when I used to see tourist people walking here and there, I feel a lot of joy talking with them and playing with them, and I did as well. So that's the same for every Nepalese citizen, and there's a good side of it as well.
Great.
Okay. Well, yeah. No. I think that image of hope, and the Straw Hat Pirates, and getting more of an understanding of One Piece, we'll finish on that message of hope for today. So we now go on to our last segment of the podcast, which about this mystery. What's that synthwave art? Now, just to get you boys up to speed, KG and Himan, usually I ask either our special guests or MysterE over here as to what you think the prompt of the art that we have in front of you. Does one of you want to just have a crack at what you think the prompt is? Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't think too much about it. But what do you think the prompt is for this art we've got here?
Himanshu, if you can jump in for the prompt. I haven't. So you can. It can be a random prompt.
Well, I've done the prompt for it. It's just a guess as to what you think the prompt is.
So that if you can see that AI art in the background, 4IS always does an AI art for every podcast, and I have to guess his prompt, why that picture was produced. And so, like, usually he asks the guest what they think he prompted, how he prompted the AI to get us that artwork. Any guesses to his prompt?
So,
mine is Nepalese self-determination. That's my one. That's what I got.
So I think it's a raising your hands against dark days.
Okay. Himan, do you want to have a crack, or do you want to leave it to KG and MysterE?
Man, I feel like, a Nepalese flag, the red color flag.
Okay. Well, the prompt for this one is, like, all of you have kind of hovered around the edges. But the prompt for this one was the Gen Z protesters fighting for a new society and a new constitution.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nice.
And it gave me that. So as you can see, like as you can see, it's got all of the papers with the writing on that. The headwear, I have absolutely no idea if that has relation to like Nepalese culture. So you guys might have to fill in the blanks there, but I don't think I can't really speak to that. But you've got what was it, a disco ball in there, and I don't know whether you guys have palm trees. Is that artistic license by the AI?
Yeah, we do have palm trees.
Oh, you do? Okay, fair enough. But yeah, that's the image it spat out. So you guys were kind of around the edges, but you did pretty good. Like, to be fair, MysterE's been doing this for quite a while, and I think you've gotten one prompt where you got bingo.
Out of almost 100 episodes, I've gotten one right. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay, and with that, KG, Himan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciated your insights, and with thanks again for coming on the podcast. This has been an enlightening conversation.
Yes.
Thank you so much for inviting us, guys.
Yeah,
it means a lot. Thank you so much.
Thanks. No, and if you see any news or any rumors, you guys can come and join us in our chat as well, because we are also in the part of same rumors, staying here in overseas, and we'll confirm it together.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Sure. If there's any updates, we'll get you guys back onto the podcast.
Yeah.
But remember, everyone, to keep thinking and keep learning, and remember to like, share, and subscribe this podcast. And to sign us off, I'll give it to you, MysterE.
Thank you very much, 4AS. And yes, thank you so much, KG and Himan. It's been absolutely incredible to actually, ask some real questions and not have everything filtered through the media. So really appreciate it. And I'm sure all the viewers do too. And hopefully, maybe we can even have a follow-up. If you gentlemen are happy to do that, we should follow up and have another discussion just to see how things are progressing, if you guys are able. But yes, until next time, everyone, please remember, I am, you are, we are a MysterE. See you next time.